That's right, let's move on to Monday evening. Leicester versus West Brom. Leicester struggling a little bit for me. 2 wins in their last 10. We've got Ian Griffin on the line from Paddy Power. How do Paddy Power see it, Ian?
So we're even money Leicester. We are 3-1 West Brom and 23-10 on the draw.
And how do you see it yourself?
Leicester weren't so bad against Liverpool. They also scored at home against Chelsea. West Brom a bit like Southampton, just don't score enough goals. So I'd probably just go for Leicester to win 0 at 9-4 instead of going for the even money.
West Brom winless in 6 as well, down 2 sides, a little bit out of sorts. I'm sure we expect a little bit more from Leicester.
I think Leicester. I mean, look, the last game before the international break, the 0-0 at Bournemouth, they were very poor in that game. Created very little. Vardy obviously pulled out of the England squad, with that minor injury he's got. I mean, didn't look at his best against Bournemouth, and yet they rely a lot on him. He's got 5 goals this season. So a lot of it will depend, I think, on what sort of shape Jamie Vardy's in from a Leicester point of view. West Brom, you kind of know how they're going to play away from home. They'll set up to frustrate, nick a goal from set pieces. That's where they're strong. I just think that they might be quite successful in this. And I don't see there being a lot of goals in the game. They've kept 3 clean sheets this season, West Brom out of 7. That's pretty good going. Under 2.5 goals, I looked at that. It looked quite a good price to me, 8-11. I think it'll be a low scorer.
Mark, do you agree?
I'm going to go for Leicester to win this one, just purely on the basis that, if I was pricing this up at the start of the season, I would have had Leicester reasonably sort of shorter. I still think over the long term that they're reasonably better as well than West Brom, and so once you put home advantage in there, I think that Leicester are worth backing. I mean, they have made a really bad start, but they've played Arsenal, Manchester United and Chelsea and Liverpool. Bournemouth and Huddersfield, they didn't play that well in either away game when they got the draw, which is a concern. But again, that is away from home at the King Power. They've only had what I would say 1 winnable game so far, really winnable. And they did that pretty comfortably, 2-0 against Brighton. So I thought that they were okay around the even money mark. I mean, West Brom, as you mentioned there, but it seems not getting that much coverage, are 6 without a win. And even when they beat Burnley, they had 1 shot on target in the entire game, about 35% possession or something, which is almost unheard of for a team playing Burnley. So, yes, you know what you're going to get from a Tony Pulis team. I just think if Leicester score first, I don't really see how the Baggies get back into the game. So I'll go for a Leicester win.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure on Shakespeare at the moment. He's creeped his way up the next manager to go betting. But they would have flagged this up as a must-win game.
Before the season started, he spoke about the tough start that they had. And that's why I backed him in the sack race because, I thought that they would make this slow start because, when you're going to, United and Arsenal, you're not expected to get anything really out of those games. So, this is obviously a much more winnable game. And these are the ones that count, I think, for the likes of Shakespeare, and your Bilic, just before the international break, had to beat Swansea, and he did. It's sort of a similar kind of situation because if they don't win and it's on TV, the pressure will build, no doubt.
Have we got a show for Shakespeare to go, Ian?
We do, yeah. So we're currently 4-9 Ronald Koeman, 7-2 Bilic, and we're 8-1 Shakespeare.
8-1 Shakespeare. That could get very much shorter. Should Leicester not do the business. Monday night, 8 p.m, that game. Right, Mark, I want to jump straight to you. Champions League next week. There's a game I'm massively looking forward to. I know you're quite a fan of Napoli. They travel to Manchester City. Could be a belter.
Oh, it really should be, yeah. I mean, goals are going to be short in this game, but I can only see goals, really. I mean, so that the market's over 2.5, maybe over 2.5, and both teams to score over 3.5 may well be a runner as well. I think, because Napoli will not take a backward step against Manchester City, and it'll be really interesting actually to see how City deal with a team that are kind of like the Man City in Italy. They want possession all the time. They want to go forward at every single opportunity. They do concede goals. I mean, even when they're winning away to Spal, that they're conceding a couple, but they always back themselves to be able to score 3 or 4. They had a really shocking start, though, losing to Shakhtar Donetsk on match day 1, although the way that Shakhtar have played subsequently, that maybe wasn't losing 2-1. Actually, wasn't the worst result there. So, I mean, unfortunately I can't watch the game, Dave. I'm in the Bernabeu, Real Madrid against Tottenham. So
It's hard life. Hard life. Poor you.
I mean, so it's one that I mean I wish I could see, but I can't. But I think this is going to be the game. The two doubleheaders will be the game of the group stages.
Dan, anything catch the eye on Wednesday? We've got Man United, Celtic, and Chelsea in action as well.
Yeah, I mean Man United's group actually. I mean Man United obviously won at CSKA 4-1 last time out. Benfica have lost both their games in that group, so it seems to be panning out for Basel and CSKA battling it out for that second spot. And I saw Basel's price 3-1 at CSKA. I mean, given that they've beaten Benfica 5-0 last time, CSKA in Russia are 7 points off the top of the table. They've lost all their 3 defeats have come at home as well, so there seems to be an issue for them playing at home. So I thought that was a bit overpriced. Going back to Tuesday, as we touched on there, Shakhtar Donetsk. I mean, their odds against to win away to Feyenoord. I mean, they've looked a decent side in the games against Napoli and against Manchester City, Shakhtar. So, they're still in with a chance there of qualification. Feyenoord, by contrast, have looked completely out of their depth in both of their matches so far. 1 goal scored, 7 conceded. Odds against Shakhtar are a touch of. I just think that's too big to win in Rotterdam.
I mean, I tend not to go too far out the obvious in Champions League. But I mean, you have a look at this midweek coupon. I mean, there's loads of teams about 5s on or shorter. The one that I thought maybe could go in at a big price actually, Besiktas. They're playing Monaco. Monaco, I mean, they lost a lot of players in the summer, and they've had a couple of dodgy results, and they were completely outplayed by Porto on match day 2. And Besiktas have started really well. They beat Leipzig, they've beaten Porto as well. I mean, obviously, Turkish teams away from home, I mean, the record's not brilliant over the years and tend to do most of their best work at home. But actually, Besiktas last year did really well in the Champions League. We're a little bit unlucky to go out in the group stage, around about sort of, I think, 4 or 5 to 1 mark. Could give you a real decent run for your money. Like I say, normally the favourites just win and win to nil, but this may be an occasion where you can get against Monaco.
Had a good run in the Europa as well, moving on from that.
They did,
Besiktas as well.
They did, yeah.